oh, you write this vision, who should know about it? And we went into a great conversation on how to best share your vision and with whom your vision should be shared. So if you have not seen all of those parts, make sure you go back to the World Class Training Institute YouTube channel, and you will be able to see all of those parts because they are important and will help be your GPS for the year. So make sure you go back and review those. We are in a new month. Cheers to a new month. And this month we are focusing on the topic, does your team have the right recipe? Does your team have the right recipe? Because if your team does not have the component parts, and we're talking about now from a culture standpoint, we'll talk about from a behavioral standpoint, and other little intricacies that are going to help you all to collaborate effectively. If you don't have those pieces, it's going to be tough to fulfill your vision. So over the next several weeks, we are going to deal with the topic, does your team have the right recipe? And every week we will deal with another component part. It's just like, my mom taught me to bake cakes from scratch. So, you got to have your butter, the flour, the milk, the sugar, depending on what type of cake you're making. One that's a favorite in our family is a brown sugar pound cake. So you got to have your maple flavoring. If you don't have maple flavoring, you can forget it. And vanilla. And you also have to have pecans. You can't do it like one of my cousins used to try to do it with walnuts. It doesn't taste the same. So you have to have the right ingredients, and you have to have the right amounts, or else it's not going to come out right. Your cake is not going to come out right. So you can't have too much salt. You can't have too much flour. You can't over milk it, because then it's going to not rise and be the texture and consistency that you want it to be. So just like making a great cake, you want to make a great team. So you want to make sure your teams have the right recipe. So we'll be dealing with that this month. This week is the culture conversation. So we're going to talk about culture. And to get started with that, I hope you guys have your lunch or your tea or coffee. I have tea today, and you can sip on that as we're going through this. I'm going to actually share from John Maxwell's book, 360-Degree Leadership, a great book. So I'm going to read this little passage, and then I will talk a little about this, okay? So here's the passages in, I'm up to about page 244 of the book. So this piece says, your attitude determines the atmosphere. Have you ever worked for someone who had a glass is half empty kind of attitude? No matter what the circumstances, the outlook was gloomy. It is night and day different from working with someone whose attitude is upbeat and optimistic. The happiest people don't necessarily have the best of everything. They just make the best of everything. The leader's attitude is like a thermostat for the place she works. If her attitude is good, the atmosphere is pleasant and the environment is easy to work in. But if her attitude is bad, the temperature is insufferable. Nobody wants to work in an environment that is overheated or icy cold. And I thought when I read that passage, that paragraph, that was great context for where we want to head in today's discussion on culture. The leader is the person who sets the culture for the organization. And so as leaders, we have to think about when we're going into the workplace or when we're getting on our Zoom calls, what temperature, what atmosphere are we setting for those with whom we are working? Because whether we rise or fall, whether we feel good or bad, is often helps to be driven by the leader. And so in thinking about your team's culture, And it's not just from a positive or negative standpoint, it's also from a standpoint of what types of conversations are you allowing your team to have. Sometimes people can get a little racy in their conversations in the workplace, and that does not bode well for a good environment. I had one person who one time said something that was, he didn't realize it at the time, but it was a little racially offensive. And so we had to deal with that, because even though it was at a level where it wasn't direct, it was at a level where it was enough that it could be offended if it was, if the wrong person heard it, or if, I won't even say the wrong person heard it. If someone heard it who is offended, then it is wrong to come into an atmosphere. So let me be crystal clear. It's not the wrong person, it's the wrong statement. So as we are thinking about the culture of our organization, and as we are thinking about leading others, when we're talking about the conversations that we allow our team to engage in and that we even lead, we have to err on the side of caution and sensitivity, because we want everybody to feel comfortable in the environment. So if I always say, if you think, should I? You probably should not. So manage your conversations, the ones that you are leading, as well as the ones that you are letting into your organization. Think about your attitude as you are having conversations or coming into a meeting with your team members. You want to have a positive atmosphere. I was speaking on a Zoom call yesterday, and the leader said it was in a cold environment. And he told his team, he said, well, what is it for us, y'all? And so they kind of hesitated. He said, it's always 85 and sunny, 85 and sunny. And so I kind of jokingly said, I said, well, that's good unless you like to ski. But I understood where he was going with that. He's like, always think positive thoughts, always think warm thoughts. And then your attitude can adjust accordingly. So I thought that was a great thing for him to share with his team. It's always 85 and sunny. So as you're leading your teams and as you want your teams to have a strong and healthy culture, think like he thought. It's always 85 and sunny. Again, unless you like to ski. And then tell them, hey, you know what? It's always 30 and snowy. And if there's a hill available so you can go skiing. But whatever that is, make it positive. Make it positive and make sure that the conversations that you all are having have the level of sensitivity and the level of discretion that leads to a healthy culture, and not one where any member of your team walks away feeling a little uncomfortable because they have been witness to, or they have been the recipient of a conversation that was not positive and that was not driving the vision forward of your organization. So I hope this was helpful. Next week, we are going to get into one of the assessment tools for managing personality, not managing, but evaluating personality and being able to have strong conversations in the workplace. It's one of my favorites, and I hope you guys join us for that. Always remember that we are available to you because our mission is to arm the nation's leader pool with tools that help to make you your best personal and professional selves. And so we offer a plethora of different workshops that we can deliver live or virtually, of course. The worldclasstraining.net website is where you can go to see more about our organization. And you can always call 615-716-9990, and I will be there to help serve you and to help determine what your needs are. We are a boutique training organization, which means that we have the power to develop and design curriculum that speaks directly to the needs of your organization. So if there are certain needs that you have, please feel free to reach out, and I look forward to serving you, because at the World Class Training Institute, it's always 85 and sunny as well. So have a fantastic rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. Bye. Are you ready to take your career to the next level?